All right, good evening. My name is Mike Wisdawa. I'm going to be your Master of Ceremonies tonight. And on behalf of the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame Board of Directors, we would like to welcome you to our 34th annual Induction Banquet here at the beautiful Doubletree. Got a long night, not a long night, but a lot of stuff to get through. So if you could all please stand up, we will say the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. Flag is over to my left. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
To do our invocation is one of our board members, Kathy Dardis, will give us the invocation. Thank you, Kathy.
Good and gracious Father, we gather in a spirit of celebration to honor those whose dedication, discipline, and sportsmanship have left a lasting mark on our teams, our schools, and our community. We give thanks for the athletes and coaches being inducted into the Hall of Fame, for the scholarship recipients whose hard work and promise light the way for the future, and for all who have supported them, families, mentors, and friends. We are also thankful for the hands that prepared and served this meal, for the effort and care that make evenings like this possible, and for the fellowship that brings us together around these tables. May this gathering remind us of the power of teamwork, perseverance, and gratitude, both on and off the field. May we continue to lift one another up, strive for excellence, and find joy in every opportunity to grow and give back. Please join in a moment of silence for the Bay County Hall of Fame members who passed this year. May their legacy continue to inspire us all. In your name we pray. Amen.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce some special people, if they would stand up. Right now, I would like to introduce our board of directors, and if they would remain standing and hold your applause to the very end. Kathy Dardis, who you just saw, a board member. Sean Sullivan, everybody there in the back. Mike Debo. Ned Clanky, who's our treasurer, can't be here tonight. Lee Thompson, our secretary. Dan McAvoy, our vice president. And the president that keeps this group going is Jen Thunberg. So let's give them a big round of applause. We also have some special guests, some past inductees, I should say. So if you hold your applause and they remain standing, I will name them off. Jeff Doan. Jeff in the back. Bill Harris. Bill's over to my left. Ed Langenberg in the back. Please remain standing. We want to give you a round of Tom Sullivan. Jim Deming. Jim's here, over to my left, I think. Angie Roshitz Johnson. Remember her from last year. Jeff Beisel. Coach Beisel is here. Lee Thompson. Jeff Williams. I know Jeff is here. Brad Walraven, my fellow 78 grad. Joe Today. Monty Oswald. Ed Harvey. Amy Krasinski. Joe Ricard. Jeff Hart. Mike Darby. Gary Stefaniak. And Coach Morley Frazier. So let's give a big round of applause to our past inductees. Thanks, guys. We're going to have a special recognition for our inductees of 10-year, and they're celebrating 10-year and 25 anniversary. And to introduce them will be Lee Thompson over here, coming up on my left. Let's hear it for Lee.
Come on up, fellas. Well, we're trying something, testing out something new here. We're going to recognize some past inductees on their milestone anniversary of their induction into the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. 10-year induction class from 2015. That class was Mike Darby, Dan Dorian, Tony Grant, Ron Hennica, Roger Funt, Bill St. Peter, Tom Sullivan, and President's Award winner Bucky Schumann. 25 years ago, our induction class of 2000 featured Mike Bryant, Charles Egler, Gary Evans, Larry Klowinski, Ed Langenberg, Monty Oswald, Bruce Patterson, George Stevenson, and Gene Skirmy Taylor. So we're proud to have 4 of the milestone inductees here tonight. One of them slow moving. Let's start with Mike Darby. This guy spent half his life being known as Hall of Fame coach Bob Darby's son, and the other half of his life being known as Kimball, Kayleen, and Jana's dad. All 3 were Hall of Fame inductees, we're proud to say. But he made a name for himself as a Hall of Fame swimmer and coach. He's currently the assistant swimming coach at SVSU for men's and women's, but he had a storied career as a coach at John Glenn, where he coached the Bobcats to 19 league championships for the girls and 15 for the boys. He was an all-stater himself at Glenn, where he set area records in the 100 freestyle and the 200 IM at the 1988 Class A state finals. Then he helped Michigan State to 12th place finish in the nation as a 4-year swimmer for the Spartans. His name at one time was all over that record board at John Glenn. Those are all gone now, but he's forever got a spot in the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame as the 2015 inductee, Mike Darby. Tom Sullivan, Coach Sully. He spent 50 years on the sidelines. He's coached at All Saints, Bay City Central, and TL Handy, where he was my counselor. He's known for his tough exterior and his booming voice. And Coach Frazier once said his growl is much worse than his bite, but he loved all his players, and his players loved him. He also is the son of a Hall of Fame coach, Jack Sullivan, and Coach Sullivan has told me many times that he was born and raised in the coaching profession. In 2008, when Handy started its middle school program, Coach Sully returned to the sidelines and spent 11 more years in the red. In 2014, he was the state's Assistant Coach of the Year, and he was inducted in the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame last year. But we had him first as a 2015 Hall of Fame inductee, Tom Sullivan. Ed Langenberg, everybody knows Ed. He's a fixture at the golf course. He was a past president of the country club, but don't let him tell you he's a Hall of Fame golfer. He made his bones in wrestling. He was the first wrestling star at TL Handy. He was a 4-time state qualifier, 1958 third place, 1959 state runner-up. And then he went on to wrestle at CMU. His wife Kathy told me that Ed's very proud of the scholarship he got there, not only so he could wrestle with the Chippewas, but he was able to pay his way for his education, which led him to a fantastic career in his hometown as an educator. He helped revive the Handy wrestling program in the mid-'60s before moving to Central, where he led the Wolves to the 1970 Saginaw Valley League Championship. He spent 33 years as a wrestling official and was so respected in that capacity that he was asked to officiate 20 state finals. He was inducted into the Michigan Wrestling Hall of Fame in 1993, and as I mentioned, he was inducted into the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame in 2000. Ed Langenberg. Monty Oswald, you're up here now, Monty? All right, congratulations. My brother called him Monty Ali because that's what he was to us. He was Bay City's version of the greatest. Also the son of a Hall of Famer, Dean Oswald. He was junior national champion by the age of 15, and he rose to the #1 ranking in the nation for amateur middleweights. He won 4 Golden Glove state championships, and he was part of the U.S. Olympic team ahead of the 1980 games in Moscow that were boycotted by the U.S. He had probably the Bay City's greatest professional boxing career. He went 16-3 before moving on to a career in law enforcement. He's currently the president of the local German club, and he works at his family's Oswald Bear Ranch in Newberry. And if you've never been there, I highly recommend you stop and see the Bears and say hello to 2000 Bay County Sports Hall of Fame inductee Monty Oswald. Good. Before I turn this over, I wanted to acknowledge one more person, Mike Wizdala. Mike has had a heck of a year. He's had a couple curveballs thrown at him. He's handled everything like a champion. And not only that, but he has come through like a rock star for this board. We moved our new home to the Bay County Historical Museum, and Mike did all the heavy lifting on that. And we couldn't be more proud of the work he's done and everything he's put into being here tonight. And big round of applause for my friend and our community friend, Mike Wizdala.
Thanks, Scott. Lee, thank you so much. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. If there's any professional painters in this crowd, I got a lot of respect for you now after painting that room over at the museum. That is not an easy job. It's not an easy job. Thank you, Lee, and we're very happy with our new home over at the Historical Society. Let me see. One more thing. All right, up next, we will have the introduction of our 6 Hall of Fame scholarship winners, and board member Mike Diebel will be introducing our 6 scholarship winners from our 6 Bay County schools. So give a big hand to Mr. Diebel.
All right, it's my honor to announce our 2025 scholarship winners tonight. Each of these students will get $1,000 that was fundraised through our tonight's banquet. So please take part in our raffle, our 50-50 that helps pay for our sponsors for the checks tonight. First up, I'm going to start over here. We've already heard a lot about her dad, but Jana Darby from Bay City John Glenn. Built on her family's storied swimming tradition as a 4-year state qualifier for the Bobcats. She was 3-time All-State performer and academic All-Stater. The team MVP was a 4-time All-Bay County selection. She played 4 years of varsity tennis, earning Most Improved Player as a junior, and competed in track as a senior. Jana participated in Student Senate, National Honor Society, and Michigan Student Leadership. Volunteered for Just for Kids and served as a Bay Youth coach while sporting a 3.71 GPA. She is currently attending CMU to pursue a degree in business and marketing. Congratulations to Jana. Next, we have Logan Jahoski. From Bay City Western, Logan showed a knack for delivering in spectacular fashion as a 4-year golf and cross-country standout, winning team and individual Bay County titles in each sport. He was first-team All-Saginaw Valley League golfer, 4-time All-Bay County pick, and 2-time state qualifier. He was also a state qualifier in cross-country, where he was first-team All-Saginaw Valley honor and team MVP. Logan volunteers for Special Olympics, Relay for Life, and was a member of the National Honor Society and the Bay Area Community Foundation Youth Advisory Committee. The 3.95 GPA student earned Saginaw Valley Scholarship Athlete of the Year, and he is currently attending Northwood to pursue a degree in supply chain management while competing in golf. Congratulations, Logan. Next, I have Natalie Huskins from All Saints, a team first player who always contributes to a positive mood and atmosphere. Huskins was a 4-year fixture in All Saints volleyball, basketball, and softball. She garnered first team All Big Thumb League in all Bay County recognition in volleyball, while drawing second team All Conference in basketball and softball. She led the Cougars to 4 league titles in basketball and was captain for her teams. The National Honor Society president also served on student council and participated in youth leadership in the Yellow Ribbon Club. She posted a 3.70 GPA and is attending CMU to pursue a career in nursing. A side note, I have to admit, so I've been coaching for a long time. Coach Gwiz will remember this. Her dad, me and Coach Gwiz both coach. He was on my first district team in 1989. I won a district title with Natalie and also won a district title with Emily. So if there are any Huskins, you play basketball, I need you to play. It just was something that was cool to happen. So congratulations to Natalie. Next, we have Jordan Walchek from Pinconning. When it comes to leadership, the Spartans found a strong example to follow in Jordan. She stuck to the forefront for volleyball, basketball, and soccer teams as a 4-year varsity performer in each sport. She served as captain and earned team MVP honors in volleyball and basketball while drawing all Jack Pine Conference recognition. Her leadership shined through as a student council president, along with National Honor Society and youth leadership activity. She also took part in the drama club and the HASA program at the Career Center while maintaining a sparkling 4.17 GPA. Jordan is attending Saginaw Valley to become a physical therapist. Congratulations to Jordan. Jake Thompson from Bay City Central. Jake was an active athlete while earning 15 varsity letters for the Wolves. The Saginaw Valley League Scholar Athlete of the Year led Central to its first ever Bay County Championship in tennis and swimming, while serving as a captain and earning MVP in both sports. He qualified for the state finals in swimming, posting Central's highest individual finish since 2014. He was a 4-year regular in the varsity golf lineup and also competed in track. Jake participated in National Honor Society and the Michigan Tech Scholars Program and is a certified lifeguard. The 3.97 GPA student is attending Michigan State to pursue a degree in electrical engineering and is also now on the men's water polo team. He's also the son of our board member, Lee, and his wife, Diane Thompson. So congratulations to Jake. Next, we have Cade Wallaker from Essville Garber. Few set an example of commitment and work ethic better than Cade, who finished as the 3rd highest scorer in Garber boys basketball history. A 4-year letter winner in hoops, he was first team All-Tri-Valley Conference standout and team MVP. He was a 2-time M-Live Bay City Dream Team honoree. He also landed first team Dream Team honors as a receiver in football while earning second team All-League honors. Cade competed in golf and baseball for 1 season. He volunteered for Duke's Can Do and Light the Night and participated in the Michigan Hostile Leadership Conference while carrying a 3.1 GPA. He is currently on the men's basketball team at Saginaw Valley State University while pursuing a degree in business and sports management. And I'm honored to say that Cade is my great nephew. And he got all his basketballs from the Devo family, right, Shannon? Again, thank you. You can see what our youth is doing and pursuing, so we're honored to honor these scholarship winners tonight. Thank you.
Yep. I think we're in pretty good hands with that group of kids right there. So let's give those guys another big round of applause. The future looks pretty bright. And again, just on a note, we have, because of you guys and the money we raised, we went from $500 to $750 to $1,000 for our scholarship. So with your help, we can stay at that $1,000 scholarship goal for years to come. So thank you very much for your purchase of tickets. It won't be the last time you hear that tonight. And at this time, I would like to introduce the president of the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. Please give a big hand for Jen Thunberg.
I just want to take a moment to thank everyone for being here tonight. Many of you do not know this because this might be your first time attending our banquet, but this is a record showing for us by about 60 people. This is just a great turnout tonight. So thank you to all of you for being here tonight. And part of the joke about this is we said, well, Dinah, you're going to have to be our President's Award winner every year because you brought 6 tables of people here that just love you and think the world of you. So I just think that's awesome. But truly, thank you everyone for being here. We have a fabulous turnout from our national champions over here, the Delta softball team. And if you notice, they even brought a banner. It's just great when we have this opportunity to bring all these people together, and there's so many different groups that are connected here in this audience tonight, and I just really appreciate the support that you're all showing each other, not just the person you're here for, but maybe the other groups that you've been involved with being here at our banquet tonight. And I do want to give one more shout out to Mike. And I didn't see Dave here tonight. Is Dave? He didn't. Dave Spencer is another person. Mike and Dave Spencer are the ones that took part in this big move that we had. We've moved twice now. A lot of people don't know that. We were at the Bay County Community Center first, is where we were housed, and then we about 10 years ago moved to the Dow Bay Area Family Y. Kind of outgrew that space as well, and now have found our permanent home at the museum, the Bay County Museum. And we have some guests from the museum here tonight that have helped us with that transition, so we thank them. I think they're back there, so thank you to the Bay County Museum for that. So if you have a chance to check out our new display there, we're just very proud of that. We're hoping, I'm just hoping, as long as I'm involved with this is our last move, that this is the permanent move. But we're very excited to be there, and I just can't say enough about what the museum staff and Mike and Dave did to make that all possible. So I thank them one more time, and one big, huge round of applause for that group. So on that note, you didn't come here to listen to me tonight, so I'm going to turn it back over to Mike so that he can start getting into all the wonderful people we're here to honor tonight. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to this whole evening.
Okay, our first inductee of the night is our President Award winner. And what the President Award winner, we've been giving this out for a few years now. What that is Jenny and the board, mostly Jenny, we look at people who are behind the scenes, the ones that are selling the 50-50 tickets, the ones you don't normally see when you walk into the gym or the game, or you might see them selling at the front table. And if you know anything about our President Award winner this year, you know she knows how to sell 50-50 tickets. I always kid to her that I have to go to the credit union and get some money out of my bank account before I go to any All Saints game. So, but very deserving. She does a great job. And our President Award winner this year from Bay City All Saints is the Cougars' #1 fan, and that's Dinah Russell. I don't know if I can top that. Dinah is a 1968 graduate of Bay City Central, where she loved basketball and softball. After retiring in 1999, she jumped on the All Saints Athletic Club bandwagon and has been the secretary for the club and the official cookie and brownie maker for Cougar Athletics. She has been such a fixture that an award was named after her, the Dinah Russell Friendship of Education, presented to another supporter each year. Dinah volunteers countless hours for everything All Saints, luncheons, teacher appreciation dinners, golf outings, and many, many more. Dinah's positive and supportive attitude has been a key factor in fostering a positive culture for the Cougars. Here's how some of the coaches and staff describe Dinah: supportive, positive, inspirational, kindness, heartfelt, passionate, difference maker, brownie and cookie baker. They always say the brownies and cookies. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome our 2025 President Award winner to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame, Dinah Russell. You're ahead.
Wow, I never thought baking cookies and bugging my family and friends to buy raffle tickets would get me this honor tonight. I'm very grateful and humble. To my family and friends, thank you. You've always been the first ones I ask, and you never hesitate. Your support means the world to me, and I'm so glad you're here with me tonight. Anyone who knows how much I love going to sporting events, I truly believe that participating in school sports gives students more than just a game. It gives them a sense of belongings, builds their self-worth, and shapes their character. That's why I'm proud to support the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. They offer a $1,000 scholarship to every high school in Bay County, helping students reach their goals on and off the field. If you're not already a member, I encourage you to join and be a part of something that makes a difference. Again, thanks to all my family and friends that showed up tonight. I didn't know a lot of them were coming, but it sure is nice to see everyone. And thank you again. It's an incredible honor. Thank you.
Congratulations, Dinah. Very well deserved. Just a little sidebar note. If everybody turns around and looks straight back at my good friend Jeff Doan, as you can see, we have an 8-minute shot clock. So, Denise, Tom Herrick, Dave Schwartz, 8 minutes. Okay? There's electricity on where I'm standing. You'll get a shot. So we implemented a couple years ago. So at this time, I would like all the individual inductees to come up and sit in front of their plaques. and we will get this ceremony going again. So how about a big hand for our individual inductees, our 3 teams, and our President Award winner. Let's get her started. Our first inductee of the evening is that super sensational softball player from Bay City All Saints, Denise Tashemsky-Toogood. During her younger years of pitching the softball, she may not have always hit the catcher's mitt, but she really found the strike zone in her later career. Her legendary career started in the Essex-Philhampton Little League and was getting more impressive after that. When she arrived at All Saints, she made her mark on teams that went to the championship game all 4 seasons she was there. Cougars won the state championship when she was a freshman and a senior, runners-up the 2 other years. Her stats were incredible as an all-state pitcher, third, and first baseman. She graduated with school records of 56 doubles, 142 RBIs, and striking out only 29 times in 4 years. As a pitcher, she had a 45-19 record with 38 strikeouts. After All Saints, Denise went on to Western Michigan, where she was 24-33, had a 2.22 ERA, and pitched in 362 innings. She is also a 2-time All-Academic All-MAC player and All-American Scholar Athlete in 1994. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Denise Tashemsky-Toogood to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
Hello, everyone. I'm grateful to start this party off here. There's so many people from All Saints here. I'm so happy to see everyone here. There's the inductees this year, too. It's great to have that sense of community from my high school and All Saints. So congratulations to everyone from All Saints that's at this table and in the audience. I'd like to thank the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame for Lee Thompson nominating me and the board and the voting members voting me in. It's a huge honor to be up here and to be amongst my peers too. And I have former teammates that are here that have also been inducted. So it's a great honor to be up here. And there's so much talent in this room already. This is like the biggest turnout you said that we've had.
Correct.
I mean, I'm blown away by the amount of talent that's in this room. And I wonder how many of you have actually had hip and knee surgeries from all the years of playing, because I definitely will be on that list. Sean Sullivan knows that too, yeah. I'd like to thank my family and my friends. So my dad that's here, he was my first catcher, my first coach. So thank you, Dad, for always being there for me. Thank you for taking, oh, yeah. Go ahead, give him a He's taken so many shots in the shin with me trying to learn how to pitch, and I swear he walks with a cane now because of what my sister and I did to him. So thank you for always being there and just being my #1 support. And my mom, who passed away 20 years ago, was my best cheerleader. She was at every game that she could be at, especially even Western Michigan, came to away games. So I know my mom is she's looking down and proud of me here too. And my sister's here, Colleen, and she's also been part of the teams of All Saints, but she's a year younger than me. And I think my athleticism, if anyone here has siblings, you know that your athleticism probably comes from your siblings and pushing each other. And Colleen, being a year younger than me, if we're pitching together, like I couldn't let her be better than me. So it's like if her drop ball was getting better than mine, I have to up my game. So thank you, Colleen, for always being my biggest support, my biggest motivator, and she herself is an amazing athlete, went on to play in college too. And we have an older brother, and same here. Like back then when we were younger, there wasn't a lot of young girls sports. Like we couldn't start Essex-Philhampton Little League till we were 9. So I started when I was age 7, just playing with my brother and his baseball team at Essex-Philhampton. My dad was the coach, so he let me get a few hits. So it all started at a young age, just playing baseball. And then got into softball, and so I always wanted to be better than the boys. I could never let the boys beat me. So I think that's what made me a good athlete too. And then back to my dad. I was better to say, like, I had to beg him for let me pitch. So I was 10 years old, and he wouldn't let me pitch on the team. So I remember I had to beg you. So thank you for giving me that honor, Dad, of trusting me to take over on the mound, and so it got me to a scholarship at Western Michigan. So I appreciate that. And there's got to be something said about I've been a Little League coach. There's got to be something said about the Essex-Wilhampton Little League program and all of the Little League programs that are here in this community that have so many great athletes have come out of our Little League program for baseball and softball. And I'm just blessed to have been part of that community at Essex-Wilhampton and been part of making it to the World Series. My 12-year-old son's here, and he loves to brag to his teammates that I've coached in baseball that my mom made it to the World Series. And the boys were like, "What? You played in the World Series?" I'm like, "Yeah, your coach played in the World Series." So that's it all stemmed from here, and I think this community, this county has got so many great athletes just because of the youth sports that was grounded here in this community. So. And with that comes a lot of volunteer work and a lot of dedication for the coaches that have gotten us to these in the youth sports time. And I want to, my coaches are here too, Brad Walraven and Tom Clemens. The amount of time that you have dedicated to us in the youth sports, it's astounding. Like Tom Clemens he was my pitching coach. He had 3 young daughters, but the amount of time that he would work with me and my sister to get us to where we need to be for pitching. And even at All Saints, we didn't have many resources. Like we didn't have gym space to pitch in. So one of my memories is pitching at Pulaski Hall in the upstairs banquet room on the hardwood floor. And then my dad would be downstairs drinking, and he'd just. And then they would just complain about all the balls that they would hear on the hardwood floor because yeah, but we didn't have the gym space. So, but all the time that you spent with us and dedicating your time, thank you so much for being there for us and helping me get to where I got. So I appreciate you all so much. And then, and then my other friends are here that I've played my teammates and my friend growing up, and my boyfriend Zach's here, and London, my son, my 12-year-old son. So the one thing that I've always done, I know I'm not up here for coaching, but one thing that's always been embedded in me is the controllables, the things you can control and the things you can't, and one of those are attitude and effort. So with me as a coach, if any kid that came, 10 years from now, I would go to him, what are 2 things that you can control? And they would say attitude and effort, because I pounded it into their brain. Those are the only 2 things that you control. In sports and in life is attitude and effort. And so my son, he's an amazing athlete himself, so I love that I'm able to just give him some of my experience and my motivation and where I got in goal setting, because there's a lot of injuries I've had and ACL tears and overcoming injuries to get where I had to get. And so that's one thing I love that I can pass on to him, is that if you set some goals and you have the attitude and effort, you can get everything you want in life. So that's for you, London. All right. But thanks, everybody. I appreciate this honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Nice job. Our next inductee is that hard-nosed kid from Bay City, St. James, and his name is Jim Scrocky, or as everybody likes to call him, Scrock. Jim grew up on the family farm in Munger, one of 9 children, and he knew what the meaning of hard work was from his days in the fields, hoeing the beets, along with corn and navy beans. His work ethic, toughness, and strength made him into a 1965 All-State halfback as a great runner, but most of all, he loved to block people in the Hall of Fame, Coach Ray Dombrowski's T formation. In 1964, St. James went 1-8, and in 1965 they went 8-1, won the Valley Parochial League Championship, and the 7-win improvement is tied for the greatest one-year turnaround in Bay County history. Scrock left St. James to go play for legendary coach Rod Kramer at CMU, where the run-first mentality was perfect for Scrock. Jim's 3 years on the varsity as a solid blocking back was top-notch, as the Chips went 22-7. And after graduation, he was drafted into the Army. Scrock spent 2 years in the Army as a specialist. Jim, thank you for your service. After the Army and starting the family, he tried many athletic endeavors, City League softball, basketball, and others, but touch football is where he excelled. He was an All-American receiver and was inducted into the Michigan Amateur Football Hall of Fame in 2004, and he even found time to earn a third-degree black belt in Taekwondo. And just on a personal note, I've known this man 50 years, and I was pretty much part of that family back then. And Jim, it was
Still are.
thank you. It's an honor to be sitting next to you tonight. So if you would, please welcome Jim Scrocky to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
You're probably all wondering why I called you here. I am myself, but anyway, thank you all, and thank you for the honor of being inducted into this illustrious group. And it has been a fantastic ride for me. I've been playing organized sports for 60-some years. Hard to believe, I'm only 45, but for 60-some years, and nothing came easy. I was not the most natural athlete in the family. Like Mike said, there's 9 of us in ours. There were 9 in the other Scrocky family in Munger. You talk about some competition. I was constantly being pushed to do my best. The biggest area that I had to excel in was, like the previous speakers have mentioned, that you need to have attitude and perseverance to accomplish anything in life. And I wanted to thank, first of all, in this long road of athletics in my lifetime, thank my family for supporting me. Thank you, I couldn't get where I am today without the support of my teammates. My teammates at every level of sport I played were fantastic to play with, whether it be fast pitch softball, whether it be football, whether it be basketball or baseball. And my coaches along the way were an inspiration. I was blessed to have some of the finest coaches in the state of Michigan, and I appreciated that, and they taught me a lot. But the key was they always knew I had an attitude. I wanted to do the best I could at all times. In order to succeed, that's what I had to do. I'm the poster child for overachievers. Nothing came, like I said, nothing came natural. I had to work at it, and that's what I was taught on the farm. That's what I was taught by my coaches and my teammates. They supported me. They encouraged me all the way, and that's one of the greatest achievements of my life, is to be in contact with those people along the way, and especially guys like Jim Deming. He's a character.
No.
What a character. Anyway, Jim always encouraged me, and he always made fun of me too. So, yeah, and every time he saw me, he wanted to take me back to the home where I belong. We'll take you to the home, Jim. You'll be okay there. Jim was a riot, but anyway, I want to thank all those that did help me along the way, and I can't say anything more than that about those people and those individuals that I met in my lifetime of sports, over 60 years, I think it is. But I was glad that I had the opportunity, and I'm happy for this organization to have selected me. And so I want to thank you all very much for the attendance and for your approval and appreciation. Thank you.
Lost my glasses. Okay, our next inductee is currently the longest serving athletic director in Bay County history, and that is Dave Schwartz. Dave is a graduate of John Glenn, and he arrived at Garber in 1999 and is still in charge of the Garber athletic programs. Dave has been one of the most loyal staff members since he arrived at Garber. While at John Glenn, Dave was all-conference in football and basketball, playing for legends like John Loop, Tim Lavasser, Ken Fowler, and Tom Paczynski. While he attended CMU, he volunteered coaching at Mount Pleasant High, and his coaching career started spending 8 years with the Oilers. When Dave was hired in 1999, replacing Hall of Famer Joe Today, in a coaching program that was not the Garber of old. Dave guided the varsity Dukes for 11 years, going 67-45, 10th on the all-time list in Bay County. He was TVC Coach of the Year 4 times and Regional Coach of the Year 3 times. He was also the Detroit Lions Coach of the Week and was inducted into the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 2021. Dave still has the coaching bug, but his AD is his main focus. He was also named MIAAA Regional AD of the Year in 2017 and 2025, and Essexville Hampton Humanitarian Award winner in 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please welcome Dave Schwartz to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
Thanks, Gwiz. I want to take a second, first of all, and congratulate all the other recipients here tonight. And I certainly want to provide some thanks as well, first to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame for lowering the bar and allowing someone like myself into this great group. I certainly want to thank who's ever sitting out in the crowd tonight that decided to stuff the ballot box on my behalf. I'll take that as well. And to my good friend, and probably yours as well, who's here tonight, Bill Harris, who told me not long ago, Dave, it's a true sign that you're getting old, because as you get old, people just start giving you stuff. So I'll take it all. I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm flattered, I'm humbled to be a part of the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame to represent the Essexville Hampton School District, as well as my family. I'm going to be directly honest with you. I'm standing here in front of you today because of the influences and the people that surrounded me throughout the course of my life. And it started for me and my friends 40 years ago, across the river at John Glenn High School, where we learned from some amazing people, Coach Loop, Coach Lavasser, Coach Fowler, Coach Basinski, and many others. We learned everything about pride and commitment and sacrifice and tradition. And all that did was wet my whistle to want to become a teacher and a coach myself. And I got that first opportunity in 1990 at Mount Pleasant High School. For 8 years, I was an Oiler. And man, did I have some great mentors. Don Petty, Mike Poff, Al McNeil, basketball coach Steve Marley, head football coach at the time at CMU, Dick Flynn, and all the CMU assistants as they welcomed me into all their football camps and all their film sessions as I taught and coached most of their kids across the street. During my time in Mount Pleasant, I learned everything about professionalism and preparation. And that was big because after the 97-98 school year, myself and about 12 other young teachers found ourselves laid off. There were financial issues, and we were sent packing. And I ended up at Corunna High School for a year, where I learned from longtime Flint area coach Buck Heine everything about patience and perseverance. And that really set me up, because the next year I finally got my chance to be a head football coach for the first time, ironically right back here in Bay County, across the river at Garber High School. And I remember interviewing in front of longtime legendary AD Joe Today at Garber, and I told him a whole bunch of lies and a whole bunch of fibs. And he bought every one of them. And I'm so glad that he did. During my time at Garber, man, I've met some incredible people, some amazing experiences, some wonderful memories. I mentioned Joe, I mentioned Bill, people like Gary Stefaniak, Jake Coquillard, Gary Huskins, Kim Klein, Chris Watts, the Coakleys, Chris and Kim, Jim Tesner, Joe Ricard, John Jasmunka. I can go on and on and on, and I just did. All the great superintendents, all the great principals and secretaries that I've had, they've all helped me learn everything that I needed to learn about representation. How to represent something more than just myself, how to represent an entire community, school district, athletic department, how to represent a whole bunch of sports programs, coaches, teams, players. And it's been a wonderful ride. Never thought I'd be there for 27 years, and I'm so glad that I have been there for that long. After the 2009 football season, 20 years of being a football coach in the state of Michigan, 11 as the head coach at Garber, I found myself physically, mentally, and emotionally wiped out. And I never, ever thought that that would happen to me. But all the hours of being an AD, a football coach, assistant principal, and a teacher, it finally caught me. And I was disappointed that it did. So I took a break. That break lasted about 5 months. As my good friend Mike Boyd, who was then the AD and football coach at Saginaw Novell, came calling, and he twisted and twisted my arm, finally broke it off. and got me to come out and coach the quarterbacks in the passing game for another 11 years. And I never ever thought that that would happen, especially at Novell. They were always our biggest playoff nemesis, our biggest playoff rival. We could never get past them at Garber, and we seemed like we played them every other year. But I learned so much about how to look at things from a different perspective, a different lens, how to be flexible, and how to adjust. And it was just a great way to end my 31-year coaching career. So there's my story, there's the people, there's the experience, there's the chapters in that story, and I'm sticking with it. However, we all know how important it is to have a great family base and a support base, and boy, have I had that with my family. To my mom and dad who divorced when I was very young, you're not going to find a better set of divorced parents out there. To my mom, who we lost a couple years ago, my biggest fan, my biggest cheerleader, always with me physically, mentally, and emotionally, and I'm so glad we had a chance to go through a big part of my career together. To my dad, who's here tonight, been a fan favorite wherever I've been. He's always on the sidelines for games and practices, still is. The kids adore him. He's helped so much with football camps and fundraising, and Dad, I'm glad we still have a chance to go through it together. To my brother Andy, who's a converted Bobcat as well, I got him over to Dukeism, and I appreciate all his support and energy over the years as well. To my Aunt Linda and Uncle Don, no way would I be here without them. The things that they have done for me starting way back in Mount Pleasant, all the tech work, all the computer work, which I love, all the lesson plans, coaching plans, portfolios, resumes, they have done so much for me. To my Aunt Linda, everyone should be so fortunate to have an Aunt Linda. She's basically been my second mom. She's done so much for me. She still continues to do that. And she also provides a sense of honesty to me as well, because I need that quite a bit as well. To my step-parents, Tom and Sharon, the best thing I can really say is they're really not step-parents. They're more like parents. And I appreciate their support and positivity over the years as well. To my in-laws, Diane and Jerry, I know numerous times they've probably caught themselves shaking their head and saying, what in the heck is our daughter got herself wrapped up in doing, this guy that's so into his career and Garber and athletics? But I appreciate their patience and their support. And finally, to my wife, Angie, I mean, she has just been incredible. You talk about telling a whole bunch of lies and fibs, people. I told her a bunch way back in 2000 when I was trying to steal her from Birch Run as their athletic trainer to get her over to Garber because we were in need of one. And I knew she was good. And those lies and fibs did a great job because I got her hired. She did a wonderful job for us for 2 years. The lies and fibs continued, and she decided to date me when nobody else would. And then the lies and fibs went to an all-time high, and she decided to marry me. And we've been married now for 22 years, and her patience, her support, her understanding of the relevance of my career and how it affects other people has been absolutely amazing, and I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate her and the fact that she's been through this journey with me. We now share a beautiful 7-year-old little daughter named Braylon, which is really a cool time because she gets to get involved with Dad up at Garber with all the games and camps and clinics and practices, and it's really an awesome thing. And I know what you're thinking. Let's get the elephant out of the room right now. You're looking at me and saying, Schwartz, you don't look like no spring chicken. And I'm not. I'm 57. As I just mentioned to you, my daughter's 7. I'll let you do the math on that. Once again, I want to thank the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame, congratulate all the other recipients, and as always, go Dukes. Have a great night.
He ain't lying about that technology, I can guarantee you. I worked with Dave for 5 years. Hey, he ain't lying. Does he have an iPhone yet? I just got my first one, so.
I got one too, but he's still
Okay, our next inductee for this evening was the leader of the Bay City Western Warriors football team, and that is Coach Jim Urich. During his coaching tenure at Western for 12 years, he drove his players to a hard-nosed, gritty, tough brand of football. Coach Urich was also known for his football intelligence, his preparation, and his organization. Coach Urich has also been inducted into the Michigan High School Football Coaches Hall of Fame, along with the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame, where he also coached at Chesaning and Saginaw Arthur Hill. In 1997, Coach came to Bay City Western, and in 2000, things started to turn around for the Warriors, who went 9-2 that year. Over the next 9 years, the Warriors were 66-30, had 6 playoff berths, 2 district championships, and 3 SVL crowns. In 2005, the Warriors just missed an opportunity to play at Ford Field with a tough semifinal loss to the Hudsonville Eagles. Jim also served as their athletic director after leading the Warriors to its most recent SVL title in 2008. Coach Urick finished his years at Western with a 71-52 record, ranking him 9th in Bay County history. Unfortunately, Coach Urick could not be here with us tonight, but accepting the award for him and his longtime assistant, Jeff Rawl. Please welcome Jeff Rawl.
Good evening, everyone. It is a great honor for me to be standing before you this evening to acknowledge the coaching career of my friend Jim Urick. We're here to celebrate not just a coach, but a leader, a man whose passion, discipline, and dedication have shaped the lives of countless players and coaches in his programs. When you look at Coach Urick's record, it speaks volumes. 71 wins in 12 seasons, 3 Valley championships, 6 playoff appearances, 2 district titles, 1 regional title. But those numbers, as impressive as they are, only tell part of the story. Behind every win, every practice, every Friday was a foundation built on structure, organization, and meticulous attention to detail. Jim never left anything to chance. He believed that success was something you didn't stumble into, but something that you built through preparation, precision, and purpose. To say that Jim was thorough with his football preparation is an understatement. Our preseason meetings were all-day meetings for at least a week before the season started, watching film, going over the work, building daily, weekly, and game day schedules, as well as the responsibilities for the upcoming year. He wanted to make sure that there's no stone left unturned when it came to preparing his team and his coaches. He also had a knack for surrounding himself with experienced coaches who shared his passion. At one point in his tenure at Western, he had recruited the help of Coach Eldon Houston and Coach Willis Johnson to work with the varsity program. At that time, between the 3 of them, Coach Urick and those 2, there were over 120 years of combined high school and college coaching experience. That's quite a legacy of football wisdom, dedication, and mentorship. During the week, Coach Urick was always focused on improvement. He'd watch film outside of practice, looking for any advantage he might be able to find. Practices were always well structured, to the minute. There was never any wasted time. Coach made sure that the team was efficient, or the practice was efficient and productive every single day. There was never a question in our minds that we would be prepared to play on Friday night. We were going to be physical, we were going to be disciplined, and we were going to run the damn ball. That was a Jim Urick staple. He always believed in running the ball. He said when you pass the ball, there are 3 things that can happen, and 2 of them are bad. Run the damn ball. Even when we moved to the spread offense in '99, the emphasis was still on the run. On Friday nights, Coach Urick was a rock of stability on the sideline. Strong, settled, and unmoving. He had his game plan, his confidence in his players, and his coaches. He never allowed himself to get caught up in the emotions of the game. He was always in control. His demeanor on the sideline gave everyone around him confidence. His halftime adjustments were well thought out, and they were the reason why we won a lot of close games at Western. Now let's be honest. When he came to Western, there were a lot of questions. People said, why? This guy is coming from Arthur Hill, where he was 86-35. He had a state championship team there, and he had a championship runner-up team as well. Why would he want to come to Western? After the first season, those questions grew a little bit louder. After the second season, with just 1 win in 2 seasons, people started to ask questions of their own. Maybe he had taken on too much. But here's what separates great coaches from the rest. They see beyond the record. They see potential in a team and in a program. What followed was a transformation. It didn't happen overnight, but brick by brick, the 6 a.m. speed trainings, the implementation of a new strength program, summer work, and practice by practice, Coach Urich built a culture of excellence. He taught young men what it means to work hard, to believe in themselves, and to play for each other. He built something lasting. By year 3, Western went 4-5. The next year, Western made their first playoff appearance in school history. From there, things really started to take off. After those first 3 years, 66 wins, 3 Valley championships, 6 playoff appearances, 2 district titles, 1 regional title. Those are the numbers that earned Coach Urich his spot in the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. But it's his Herculean effort that he put forth in the program from day one when he took the job in '97 that makes him such an outstanding coach. Jim is also a proud member of the Michigan High School Football Coaches Hall of Fame since 1997, the Michigan High School Coaches Association Hall of Fame since 2009, and the Saginaw Sports Hall of Fame since 2017. Honors that reflect the lifetime of commitment to the sport and the young people who play it. Those honors speak to Coach Urich's extraordinary dedication to the game, but behind every great coach is someone who makes that commitment possible. For Jim, that's his wife, Joanne. Being a coach's wife is no small task. Practices, games, meetings, those all take up a lot of time. I don't know how many times myself or other coaches would go to Coach's house at all times of the day and night and talk football. Joanne was always welcoming. She always took his absence during the fall and most of the summer in stride. In their 53 years of marriage and 40 years as a varsity coach, Joanne was his biggest cheerleader. In all of that time, 40 years as a varsity coach, she missed 2 football games, both because of surgery. 2. Lastly, on a personal note, one of my favorite memories I have of Coach Urich and his time at Western was that of his father coming to two-a-days. Jim would always take a chair and set it up underneath the shade of the big tree that we had at Western, and his dad would just watch practice. Wouldn't say a word, he'd just watch practice. Coach would always set up spots for him at our home games as well so that his dad could watch. I always found it fascinating and a little bit entertaining that this guy who won a state championship, was a runner-up, had all these Valley titles at Arthur Hill and Western, was getting coaching advice. His dad always knew exactly what was wrong with Western and what Jim needed to do better to be a better coach. And I always got a kick out of that. But it was his love of his father enjoying the passion for the game, and that always moved me, that he would go to those measures to be with his dad. I really appreciated that. So tonight, as we look back on those 12 seasons, the wins, the championships, the lessons, I do so with deep gratitude for the structure he brought, for the leadership he showed, for the example he set, both on and off the field. Coach Urich's legacy isn't just about the trophies or the record books. It's in the players who learned from him, the coaches who worked beside him, and all of the stories, laughs, and memories in the brotherhood of football. Coach, thank you for believing in Western, and thank you for showing us all what it truly means to lead. On behalf of Jim and Joanne, thank you to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame for their recognition and the honor of joining this Hall of Fame, and congratulations to all those being inducted this evening. Thank you.
Okay, our first team to go into the Hall of Fame tonight is the 1989 Pinconning Area Spartans volleyball team. Go ahead. This 1980 team was runner-up in the state finals, and for the next 2 decades, this team established Pinconning volleyball as a dominant program and a dynasty in the state of Michigan. The 1989 team became Bay County's first 60-game winner, winning the district and regional crowns while rolling into the state semis and the finals. Hall of Fame coach Jeff Williams set the high demands and higher expectations of off-season workouts, lifting weights, and getting the team into top-ranked tournaments because he knew he had something special. The Spartans did incredible things during the season and the tournament run when they won the NEMC along with district and regional and returned to the state semifinals. In the semifinal, the Spartans swept past Fenton, and waiting for them was 70-win team from Comstock Park. Unfortunately, the Spartans fell to them in the state finals. This 1989 team put Spartan volleyball on the map, and everybody knew about Pinconning. They won 19 districts and 13 regionals after that. It was this team in 1989 that set the standard for the future of Pinconning volleyball. Let's please welcome head coach Jeff Williams and the 1989 Pinconning Spartan volleyball team to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
First of all, thank you very much. I would like to introduce my assistant coach. Actually, she was my JV coach, Marion Hornacek. She was a Pinconning graduate. She basically played volleyball at Pinconning and at Ferris State. She started coaching volleyball at Pinconning in '82 as a JV coach. And when I took over the head coaching job in 1987 with the volleyball team, she was my JV coach, but basically she was my assistant coach. She had a great volleyball mind, great work ethic, the ability to communicate with the players much better than I did. And she coached volleyball at Pinconning for the next 25 years as either an assistant or as a head coach. Marion?
I feel old. Do I introduce Steve?
Oh. And Steve Wilson. Okay. He was our freshman coach in both '88 and '89. Okay. And he came to practice after freshman practice. He always came to the varsity practice and helped out. And then when we traveled around the state, he always went with the team. So that was what, a lot of extra time besides just his job as a freshman coach. Marion?
Thank you. I'd just like to, first of all, this is a typical relationship with Jeff and I. He always included me, made me feel part of the team, put me to work, taught me, and I was able to use his encouragement and his coaching to have some success later on in my own career. First of all, we'd like to thank the Bay County Hall of Fame for selecting this team and to induct them. It's a great honor, and they deserve it. I want to say a few words about this team. I had them as JVs. That's when Walk Like an Egyptian came into, and so they had the Egyptian move. And as JVs, they went 31-1. We lost one game in the final of a tournament, and they were a fantastic team. I really loved coaching them, and they were just I don't know how to explain it, but we sure had a lot of fun. I know that, and they were used to winning, obviously, with that record. So I think they took that work ethic up to their varsity level, and it showed. They excelled. I'd like to start by introducing a couple of the girls, and then Jeff will take the rest. First, I'd like to introduce Terry Balaria. Terry, just put a hand up so they know who I'm talking about. She was a defensive specialist. She had a great serve, and don't let that beautiful smile fool you. She was competitive, and brought that to the team. And you'll hear that word competitive throughout this group. Next was Dawn St. Martin. She also had a great work ethic and a competitive spirit. Didn't voice it real loud, but you knew it was there. She was also on the '89 state softball championship team and went on to play softball at Northwood University. So we got some athletes on this group. I'd like to introduce Kim Lawton. She played volleyball at Delta College. She was our outside hitter and a tough competitor, real strong girl, and you wouldn't want to be in the way of that ball that she was hitting. So, the last person I'd like to introduce is Beth Martin. She was our co-captain. She was first team all NEMC. She was a strong leader, but not a vocal leader. She could lead with a look. Can we say that? That ain't gonna fly, girls. And her ability to get the most out of her teammates was a real gift, and was a really good choice of this team because they chose their own captains, so they knew who the leaders were. And I saw her potential when she was playing freshman, and brought her up to the JV team. I said, I need that kid. She could lead, she could play, and was a treat to coach her. So that's your first few. So Jeff.
Kay Kosiski was a junior. Kay did not get as much playing time as she wanted because the 88 team, 8 starters came back, and so playing time was very difficult. But she was a softball state champion in '89, and then in '89-90, she was a co-captain of the team. Next is Raquel Beeson. Okay, Raquel turned out, she was first team all-conference, second team all-state. She played volleyball at Saginaw Valley, and surprisingly to me, I just found this out about a year ago, that she was a very successful professional beach volleyball player for a very long time. And the last person would be Michelle Williams. Michelle was a co-captain. She was first team all-conference, first team all-state, and she was the basic, she was the setter. And for those of you who don't know anything about volleyball, that's the quarterback or the point guard. Okay. And she was a great leader, but when we went home, we never talked volleyball at all.
Yes, permission.
Okay. My coaching background started in football. So I had an outside voice and I had an inside voice. Unfortunately, my outside voice came into the volleyball court a lot. The goal of the entire coaching staff basically was to make the players better every day. Every time they came to practice, can you be 1% better than you were the day before? I would also like to have the parents of all the volleyball players please stand.
Parents.
Parents. Okay, the parents were a major factor in the success of our '89 volleyball team. State volleyball rules say you can only play 18 dates. We had 10 league dates, and so the other 8 we traveled all over the state. And so what it meant was that we did that because we wanted to have better competition, but it meant longer drives, longer days, longer sitting between matches. I guess for them the best part is the food was great because they brought crock pots full of food and stuff to feed the players because tournaments start at 8 in the morning, and if you're any good, you're at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, you're still playing. To all the players standing here, as a reminder, the summer summer workouts and weightlifting, and then all the crazy rules that I had, which we won't get into because the clock is saying, be
There's
quiet.
no shot clock in volleyball. We don't know what that means.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah.
Congratulations, Jeff. Our next team going into the Hall of Fame tonight is the 1991 All Saints Cougars baseball team, who finished state runner-up. By their own admission, when they were 9th graders, they were kind of like the Bad News Bears. But over the years, they became very close, a great team, and one of the top teams in the state of Michigan. The trip to the state championship was a long and winding road filled with a lot of fun for this group of Cougars. In 1990, Don Eager took over as head coach, and his top assistant was Tim Rouse. This group of Cougars went 8-2 during the football season, 18-5 while playing basketball, and that success carried over into the baseball season. All Saints claimed their 6th consecutive district title and first regional crown since 1981. In the semifinal game, the Cougars defeated Ottawa Lake Whiteford 10-3. In the title match, the Cougars fought hard but came up short in the Class D title game to Waterford Our Lady. If you would, please welcome Tim Rouse in the 1991 state runner-up baseball, the Bay City All Saints Cougars. Right down here, because it's
Good evening. We don't have as many players as the Pinconning team, so hopefully I can get through this in short fashion. But I had this planned all along, Mr. Herrick, so I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I have to do this. He's one of my heroes from my younger days. At my time at Bay City All Saints, when I played there, I had the great opportunity and privilege to play for some of the best coaches in Bay County. G.J. Zanotti's here, I see him. Coach Billy Harris, big influence. Coach Jeff Beisel. But I have to say that my favorite was Tom Herrick, and I just want to point him out. I learned more from this man in 1983 about the game of football, or even about myself, I should say, in one season than I have in any other season since. And I would have regretted it had I not brought you up today. Anyway, back to the story of the 1991 Bay City All Saints baseball team. When I was a young 23-year-old, just kind of cusping on the first year of coaching, I had a wise man tell me, a wise coach tell me, or give me coaching advice. And that coaching advice was, Tim, it's not always about the X's and the O's. Most of the time, it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. And through my years, I've kept that with me, whether it be coaching here at Bay City All Saints, or Medina University, or Saginaw Valley State, or even my daughters that are in the stands today, or in the seats today. It's always about the Jimmies and the Joes. So the story of the 1991 Bay City All Saints varsity baseball team is a tale as old as time, and that tale is the Jimmies and the Joes. So we're going to go with that. In 1989, I interviewed for the head coaching job at Bay City All Saints along the late, great man, so many adjectives I could use for Don Eager. As it turned out, there was two of us left in the final pairing, and the way that All Saints did it at that time was we interviewed together in a room with a panel of 6 people, and I remember getting the phone call that evening from Principal Jerry Lombardo telling me that Bay City All Saints had chosen Don Eager to be their next head coach. And as a 23-year-old, I remember feeling dejected and sad. But at the same time, I knew that my alma mater was in good hands and they made the right choice. It wasn't 2 minutes after that, when I hung up the phone, that the phone rang again, and it was that great man, Mr. Don Eager. And I remember the words he said to me very vividly, almost verbatim. I remember him saying, Timmy, if I was on that panel today, I would have chose you. And that was just the man that he was. And I could never say the words in 8 minutes, and I'm losing time here, to explain this great man. However, he continued. He said, that's why I'm asking you right now to be my assistant coach. And I said to him, Don, maybe we should meet and talk about strategies or talk about philosophies before, you're sure that you want to do this. And the next thing that he said to me changed my coaching career, and it set the foundation for the 1991 team. He said, Tim, you let me worry about the X's and the O's, and you take the Jimmies and the Joes. And that's what we did. Coach Eager was a brilliant man. He was a brilliant coach. Besides being a fierce competitor, he had great ideas, and he was a true baseball dude. I remember promising him before we hung up the phone that when David, I think at the time was a sophomore, before David graduates, we will win a state title. And we stuck to it. Through a lot of hard work and a lot of tribulations, we almost achieved that goal. However, when I think about this team, I think about, people say that you never forget your first anything. And this was the very first team that I coached. And man, did I hit the jackpot with these guys. Because this team was still today the closest knit team that I've ever coached. And they generally loved being together in each other's company. But over the next few years there, I remember grabbing some advice from my high school baseball coach, Billy Harris, who told me to formulate a plan on how to get your team better faster. And it sounded something like this, and I wrote it down this morning, but it's very close. He said, don't be their friend. Coach them hard. Get them to love each other. Once they love each other, they will start to play for each other. Once they start to play for each other, they will get better fast. Nothing is more powerful than an athlete who loves to practice, accepts coaching, and would do anything to win for their teammate. We had a motto that year, and that motto was, I hope the boys remember it, it was respect everyone and fear no one. When these Jimmies and Joes finally hit their peak a year later, it was something to be seen. They played with arrogance, they played with cockiness, swagger, confidence, they played with freedom, and they played fearless, but most of all, they played for each other. So at this time, well, one last thing I want to say is that coach is coach, because this is very important to me. Coach is coach, but the players are the ones that win championships. These are the Jimmies and Joes of that magical year in 1991. There's only a few of us here, so I'm going to go quick. In front here is David Mahalik. David was a third baseman for us. He was a great defender. He was an underclassman. Probably the fastest guy on the team. But also he was very humble and accept coaching, probably better than any of the underclassmen, and he was a big part of our state championship run. Over here to the far right is Kyle Zielinski. Kyle was a middle infielder for us. Kyle had some great hands. We worked on his hitting through the years. He had some great hands, but depending on which one of these two were going to pitch, Kyle was going to play shortstop or second base. Incredible defender, and saved our hide a few times in that state championship run. Here in the middle is Ryan Call. Ryan, pound for pound, was probably the best athlete I ever coached. He was our leadoff hitter. He epitomized the word fearless. I think he still holds a record today for stolen bases at Bay City All Saints. Am I right, Ryan? I hope, anyway. And this is the one kid on the team that I couldn't help not being his friend. I love these guys today, and Ryan and I are still very close. And then the man in the middle here is the pride and joy of his father, David Eager, who still today is probably the best baseball player I've ever coached at that level. David was a two-time first-team All-State player. There's no doubt that his arm was touched by the man above. Nobody's seen 90 miles an hour with a wipeout slider like they did back in the 90s, but he had that. But past that, he led our team in hitting, and he was one of the best shortstops I've ever seen play the game. Brian played at Madonna University in college, and David went on to play at Greensboro, North Carolina. I would like to recognize two more people. Mr. Chonik, are you here? I'm sorry, I can't see that far. Can you please stand up for me? Mr. Chonik, if you just remain standing for me. Mr. Chonik's son, Shane, passed away a few years ago. Shane was my appointed team captain. He was by far the most mature player on this team. I don't think we had too many mature players, to be honest with you, but he was one of the most mature players on this team. But he had a personality that was steady and calm. He was an extension on the field. Anytime that I needed to relay a message to him, and I went directly through Shane. And the most important thing is if you asked any of these players who their best friend was, they would have said your son. He was a great man, and we miss him, and I think about him very often. Mrs. Carol Eager, can you please stand? This is Carol Eager. Thank you. I love you. This lady, I wanted her to represent Mr. Don Eager. I'm pretty sure she's impacted more Jimmys and Joes than any of us in the room through her 30 years of service. You raised a great family, great men, all the men in the Eager family. I've known you folks forever, and I want to say that your husband was one of the greatest men I've ever known. 1991, Bay City All Saints Cougar baseball team, varsity baseball team.
Hey guys, come on back over here and get your glasses that can be filled up with Pepsi or whatever you want to fill it up with. I have one at home. They work pretty good. Congratulations, guys. All right, our next inductee for the night. Oh, you're still going. Our next inductee for the night is definitely what you would call an old school coach who was for many years at Bay City All Saints. And that coach is Tom Herrick. Who I had the honor and privilege of playing for many, many, many years ago. Coach Herrick was the type of coach who would get the most out of you as a player, no matter who you were or how big or small you were. Coach Herrick set the expectations high for all Cougar players. And they better met no matter what the level of football you played at. His attention to details and doing everything the right way was second to none. Tom was an excellent halfback coming from St. James during the consolidation to All Saints in 1968. He joined the Cougar staff in 1973 and was the head JV coach, who I remember very well, and was the Hall of Famer Jeff Beisel's right-hand man for all Coach Beisel's 24 years as the head coach at Bay City All Saints. Coach Herrick was the 1997 Michigan High School Football Coaches Association Assistant, they got to shorten that title down a little bit, of the year also. Coach was on the staff for 14 playoff berths, 2 state semifinal games, and 200 varsity victories for the Cougars. He also served as a middle school AD and brought back to life the football program, and his offensive coordinator was none other than Jeff Beisel. We can still see Coach Herrick today pacing the field when his grandsons Jack and Max play for the Cougars, while also driving the bus for away games. His passion for Cougar football ran so deep that he and his bride Chris, I don't know how you pulled this off, cut the honeymoon short to get back for a JV football game. You are one brave dude. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Coach Tom Herrick to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
You know, I brought all these notes that, you know, like I substitute teach because I got nothing to do because I'm 74 years old. And I wrote all this stuff out and I got probably not going to use any of it. But it's there and maybe some thoughts will pop in my head. First of all, let me say what a great honor this is to be here with all these folks here and every other person that has been inducted into the Hall of Fame in Bay County. You know, it's something that, I don't know, it wasn't even a dream. It was, you know, I never even crossed my mind. And then they told me, you know, you've been nominated this year. And I went, oh, that's kind of nice, you know, and it is. It's really, it is. And I didn't expect it. You know, it's just when you coach, you just coach and you just keep moving on to the next year. And that's kind of the way it happened with me. Like in 1973, I was just trying, as I was coming here, I was trying to think, how did I get started in this anyways? And I think, you know, Coach Ray Dombrowski over at All Saints, you know, I played for him and I think he found me, like, you know, I used to smoke like 2 packs of cigarettes a day, drink till 2:30 in the morning, and he's like, hey, you want to come coach football? You know, I got nothing else to do, you know. But in between there, I found this nice Italian girl on the west side, you know, she took away, you know, she convinced me that I really didn't need to smoke anymore. She did that, but I mean, I still drink a little bit, you know. But, you know, she is the one more responsible for who I am than anyone. You know, I mean, you know, we have this expectation when we go and start coaching. You know, I coach with some really good people. You know, and like Jim Deming, Neil Kent, Tom Sullivan was there, Ken Kanicki. You know, and then my life partner Jeff Beisel. You know, I mean. You know, we have been together so long. I mean, I forgot. You know, like we started in like when I was a sophomore in high school. He was my coach. You know, and I said the one image I'll never forget. We were coming back from Saginaw, and he was on the bus with his assistant, and they lit up a cigarette to smoke on the way back from the game. And I went, this is kind of neat. I do this too. You know. But that was the last time I saw that happen. But you know, it's kind of stuck with me just a little bit. You know. You know, so, you know, I'm trying to condense. I got 40 years, you know, at All Saints, you know, 50 when I count, you know, my years, you know, through high school. And how do you talk about that in 5 minutes like they told me? And they told me like 50 times every time you get 8 minutes, you know, don't forget. So the one thing I really love about coaching is competition. You know, I love competition. I'm competing. I don't care what the game is. It's marbles. I'm competing. I'm going to win. I want to win. I want people who play for me to think, I just want to win. But it's not just about winning. It's how do you get to that goal? What are you going to do to make yourself better? Every day, you know, it happened. And I used to say, you get kids, and one year you got guys, you got linemen at All Saints. I mean, this happens. It's like every place. It's cyclical. You know, I had a line in the late 70s. They weighed probably 185 pounds, you know, and they were a Class C school. And I go, this is great. And then in 1987, I got a 135-pound tackle. I got a quarterback that weighs 95 pounds and is 5 foot tall. You know, so how do you make this work? But we did. You know, like those people on the thumb, they recruit. Yeah, this is what I want. Yeah, I recruited this guy. I got this 95-pound guy. You know, I said, yeah, he's my quarterback. You know, but you know, they did, and they did compete. You know, and they got better. This 95-pound kid is now 6 foot tall, and you know, he's got a great job. He's got a great family. That's what it's all about. It's all about what you can do for people to make them better people, to make them good citizens, to make them love and respect everything they do in their life. You know, and that, you know, I have my good friend Nick Ford over here, you know, and he's sitting back there, and when he was in high school, we got to practice one day, and I knew, you know who's coming out, you know, it's All Saints, you know, you only got 15 kids on the team, so, you know, so I said, where's Ford? He goes, he's not coming out, it's for football. I said, what do you mean he's not coming out? They said, oh, he's working. I said, where's he working? And they told me it's that restaurant across from O'Hara's on the west side. I told Beisel, I said, I'll be back in a little bit here. I said, I gotta go see somebody. And this is during practice. And I drive over there, I walk in the restaurant, I walk in the kitchen, he's washing dishes, and he says, what are you doing? He goes, I'm working here. I went to the manager, I went, he quits. Let's go, get in the car, and you're going home. And he would tell you that's a true story. That's only one of them. You know, like I've gone, like Jeff would say, hey, we're missing somebody today. And I went to a guy's house. I got him I walked in his front door. He was in bed. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm quitting. I goes, you can't quit. I goes, you started. I said, you can quit next year. I go, you can't quit this year. I just get out of bed and I said, let's go. And I threw him in the car, and we went to practice, and it all worked out good. You know, and it's a hard thing to do, because sometimes you go, yeah, he won't be here, we're just going to go on. No, you can't. You don't give up on a kid. You never give up, because they all have something special, and that's what we look for. You know, so now I'm like, my son told me my son's really good at this. He says, Dad, don't meander. I'm going to meander a little bit. So I'm going to go back to 1974 and at my wedding. So they already told you, Gwiz already told you about coming back from my honeymoon. I said, Chrissy, we got to get back. I got a game Thursday. You know, we can't just keep honeymooning. We got to go. But at the wedding, So I'm sitting there, we're sitting on the altar over at St. Mary's, and I'm sitting there and I'm getting tears in my eyes and she's thinking, no, he really loves this sermon. She was, did you really like how we go on here? And I went, look, the whole team's back there, So I said, I guess no better than that, except they showed up to reception too. That was not so good. But we get through it. I love kids. I love the way they compete. I love when they can give you all they've got. And trust me, I cried a lot of tears with a lot of these teams. It's hard sometimes because you know how hard they work. It just doesn't always work out. It's just the way life is sometimes. But we get up, we put our boots on, and we go fight again. And I always, I used to tell people, I say, we have some of the best people, not always the best athletes, but the best people, that play sports and that want to compete every day, no matter what they do. And I only got 35 seconds left. And I didn't think I could talk for 8 minutes, don't But, I wish I could say enough about my family because they're the ones most responsible for who I am today. They've been with me every step of the way. And I got to mention my wonderful daughter, Andrea, who was like, she couldn't play football, but she is a heck of a competitor in every other sport she played. My son, Matt, he played for me. I said, Matt, you got to play football. He goes, I don't want to play. Yeah, you got to play football. He was a center. He knew nothing about it. He learned how to snap. He started every game, but he competed. He did everything that was asked of him, and that's all we ask of kids in general. In every sport we play and everything we do, it's all for the kids. If it wasn't for the kids, I wouldn't be doing this, and neither would guys like Jeff, who came back. He came back with me after 10 years to jump back into coaching and to help out. We just get it. We love kids. We love All Saints. It's just who we are, and it always will be that way. But I love kids no matter where they are, and I think that's why I still substitute teach, even though some days you just go, why am I doing this, But thank you. You even stopped it at 3 seconds. What a guy. My wife said 3 seconds, 2, 1 seconds. Okay, I'll go. But thank you so much, you guys. I love this place. I love you all. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad to see you haven't changed in 50 years. Same coach I had as a was I that 95-pound quarterback? No. Oh, I didn't think so. Thanks, Tom. Great job. Our next inductee is one of the greatest players to come out of the Pinconning Spartans volleyball program, and she is Christy Grushinsky-Konachesny, or some know her as Sketty, but I'll let her tell you about that. She joined the Spartan varsity as a freshman, encouraged by her mother to try out, but was a softball and basketball player at heart. During her 4 years on the varsity, the Spartans were 225, 31, and 26, winning NEMC district and regional titles each year while playing for Hall of Famer Jeff Williams and great assistant Marion Hornacek. In 1992, Penny won it all in the Class B, becoming the first and still only Bay County volleyball team to win a state championship. In 92, Penny won it. Oh, and Christy, congratulations. Christy was a two-time first-team All-State and played at CMU after high school. She started as a freshman, helping the Chips to 3 top 3 finishes in the MAC. Also was a 3-time All-MAC selection and a first-teamer her senior year and 3-time All-Academic honors. Christy ranks 5th in CMU history for kills and attacks in the season, as well as digs in her career, 7th in her career blocks and assists, and 8th in career kills with 1,069. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Christy Grushinsky-Konachesny to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
First of all, I just want to thank the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame and the Board of Directors and everyone else that's involved with putting this event on for 30 plus years. it's quite an amazing thing to be a part of. And to be recognized with all these other athletes, coaches, and teams, it's quite an honor. When Lee Thompson called me for this article and to talk about my volleyball career and experiences at Pinconning and Central Michigan, I kind of felt like we opened up a little bit of a time capsule. That may have been the first time I actually walked through my athletic journey from elementary school to college. And like many of these guys and gals up here already said, one thing that resonated through our conversation was the people that have guided and supported me along the way. And so today I wanted to spend a few minutes expressing my gratitude to them. Starting with my family, and most importantly my parents. Having 3 kids playing multiple sports year-round from elementary school to college, I really can't even begin to quantify the amount of time that they must have spent over the years, traveling across the state and the country, just to make sure we had someone cheering us on. Having done this for my own kids now, I have so much more appreciation for all they did for us, and they made it look super easy. To my siblings, Jason and Amy, thanks for being my first competitors. Many of you know, if you have siblings, sibling rivalry is a real thing. It was in our house especially. Whether we played kickball in the backyard, board games, or racing down the driveway on our bikes, those two actually helped fuel my love for competition, and ultimately were probably one of the biggest reasons I played sports. And honestly, if you've ever seen my brother on a basketball court or on a baseball field, or watched my sister play volleyball or basketball back in the day, you can imagine what a friendly game of kickball in our yard must have actually looked like, or a game of Monopoly. Next, I want to thank my husband, Mark. He didn't know me in high school, but he was there for most of my Central Michigan volleyball days, and he was one of my biggest cheerleaders, and still is for that matter. To my boys, Andrew and Tyler, thank you for being here. I'm actually just a mom to them, so it's probably weird for them to watch me get an athletic award today. But maybe they'll actually believe that some of their athletic talent actually came from me. To my coaches, thank you for seeing my potential and pushing me beyond even what I thought I was capable of. Jeff, Marion, and actually so many of my other high school coaches in volleyball, not just in volleyball, but basketball and softball. They invested so much time into all of the teams I was a part of for 4 years of high school. They taught me hard work, discipline, teamwork, and honestly, they gave us such a solid foundation that many of us actually, I think was a reason why so many of us had an opportunity to play in college. It's because of all the awesome coaches we had in high school. And then to my high school and college teammates, which many of you are here, thanks for showing up every day. Your friendship and for giving me some of the best childhood memories I've ever had. You know, when Lee was interviewing me for his article, he kept asking me, you know, share some memories of some significant high school games or your state championship run, some of your memorable college games, and I honestly struggled to do that. What I could recall, though, were bus rides, the tournaments, the team outings, and the stories and the inside jokes that we all had that probably made us laugh till our stomachs hurt. But beyond those great memories we had, I actually was really fortunate to have some teammates that were some awesome leaders and mentors. I was a really shy, timid freshman on the high school varsity team. And I was that was the small town kid that showed up at a Division I volleyball program deer in the headlights. So it's actually fitting that this 1989 team is here today because not only did they set the bar really high for Pinconning and created that culture, some of these ladies were some of like the best mentors and leaders that I've ever been with, and I thank you ladies for all of that. I know this has already kind of been said, but as a parent, I've said this phrase to my kids 1,000 times, and it's been echoed through all the speeches so far. Sports, and honestly life, is really more about the who than the what. And so, my sports journey, it's not about the stats, the medals, the wins and losses. It's been about those people who have kind of helped me along the way. And I honestly think that's what makes these Hall of Fame inductions so awesome. It really is representing every person that has trained us, mentored us, supported us throughout our careers, our families, our coaches. Honestly, this whole Bay County community, it was awesome growing up here. Being part of Central Michigan, that was, that was an awesome community in itself. And so it really does take a village, and I'm really appreciative for mine and very grateful. I'm really honored to be part of this Hall of Fame class, and I just want to congratulate all the other inductees and really appreciate all the contributions you've made to the county, Bay County sports. And I'll end with go Spartans, fire up chips. Thank you.
Great man. MVP.
Oh boy, what's going on up here? All right, good. All right, our next inductee is that outstanding athlete from Bay City Central, and his name is Trenton Robinson. Trent is a 2008 graduate of Bay City Central who necessarily didn't like to hit people on the football field, but that certainly changed over the years. Trent made his name during the early years with his good friend Luther Ware, shattering records in the 400 and 800 relays. While at Bay City Central, he earned All-State honors and was the Gold Helmet player in 2007. After leaving Central, Trent moved on to Michigan State as a defensive back, playing for head coach Mark D'Antonio. Go Green.
Go Wild.
Yeah, there you go. While at MSU, he was a 3-year starter and was the first team All-Big Ten his senior year. Trent would lead the Spartans to a Big Ten title as a junior and the first Big Ten championship game as a senior, where he also served as team captain. While at Michigan State, he had 229 tackles, 9 interceptions, and he was also invited to the Senior Bowl. In 2012, he was drafted in the 6th round by the San Francisco 49ers and was on the practice squad when they played in the Super Bowl. Robinson also played for the Eagles, Redskins, and Panthers, where he had 88 tackles and 2 interceptions during his NFL career. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Trenton Robinson to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. All right, congratulations.
First and foremost, I just got to say, thank God. Thank God for the day. Thank God for this weekend. Thank God for the people who are here. Secondly, I'd like to I just got to take a moment for the people that we've lost. I know that every single person in here, times are not so stable. Things are going on in the world that are affecting lots of people's lives. And I just, it's a day of celebration, but I got to be real. And I just want to say, let's take a moment for the people that we've lost, not just this year, but over the years, to whatever it may be, So let's just take a moment. Thank you. This is a long time coming. It's a long time coming, and I truly can't even believe I'm here right now in this moment, but I am, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be up here on the stage and to share the stage with other phenomenal athletes that I know spent their life and put dedication and work, preparation, discipline, sacrifice, so many things to share this stage and to get up here. like I said, I'd like to thank God for allowing me to succeed in sports and giving me the strength to overcome obstacles. This journey hasn't always been easy, but it was worth every step. To everyone here and to those that couldn't make it but still showed love, thank you for the support along the way, from football to bowling to my rapping and country music, singing, all types of stuff, all types of stuff. But I truly appreciate the support. I started playing for football for the Wildcats Little League team after my uncle told my mom. I just remember he's like, he's got to be playing football. He's got to do something. And Dan O'Shea and the Parfs picking me up for practice, me running at practice with a helmet on my first year, and I couldn't do nothing. They just were like, he's fast and he should play. All I could do is run fast. They're throwing the ball. It was just a quick story. They're throwing the ball. I'll never forget it. The quarterback was throwing the ball to me, and it would just hit my helmet every time. I could not adjust to it, not hitting my helmet. So those days, but I kept working. And the next year, I ended up leading the league in interceptions, and I had a couple touchdowns. My big cousin will never let it go, because he ran me over. And football, I don't know if things changed or what, but I just remember I was in the Little League. I didn't think it'd be in the front page of the Bay City Times, but it's a picture of my cousin running me over, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, just crazy. So shout out Rico. Those early days gave me a competitive spirit, and I tried every sport I could. I wasn't great at all of them. I swam. I used to dive in the 7th grade, and I just remember those days. I had a friend, Luther. This dude, he could do everything. He's jumping off the diving board, doing flips and stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna dive too. I'm doing backflips. All the guys got on Speedos. I got on some gym shorts. I'm at the swim meet. I'm doing backflips off the diving board, and it just looked terrible because I never landed the dive, but they would clap, and I'm like, thank you. My flips are all sideways. But anyway, I tried them all. But I learned that you just got to keep working to improve. By the 10th grade, I knew football was my path. Playing varsity track showed me what discipline and accountability really meant, showing up and being on time. Coach Frazier knows. Coach Sully does too, because Coach Frazier moved me down to JV, I think my sophomore year, the year that I finally figured it out, kinda. Coach Frazier said, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me, and as you get older, you realize these things. Sorry about the time, I'm going over. But he moved me down to JV, and I had to play a JV game when I was a sophomore. I should have been on JV, and I had a game, and Coach Sully goes and tells Coach Frazier, man, this guy cannot, no. You got to bring him back up. He's going to be on time. And that 1 week with Coach Sullivan was, it was perfect. It just helped me figure out the things that I needed to figure out, and his sternness and the way about him just helped me figure it out. But Coach Frazier making that decision, even possibly over winning football games, which we had a really good team, so he wasn't even tripping. He's like, he could stay down there all year, I don't care. But that mindset carried me to Michigan State, and I continued to want to be the best, eventually becoming starting safety and team captain and all Big Ten player, all from right here in Bay City. And I never forgot this place, and I never will. That's why I'm back in this place, because it means so much to me. To me, it's the best place. I've been to San Francisco, I've been all around the country, and to me, this is literally one of the best places on earth. It just does it for me. It's beautiful in the... It just does it for me. The people are real. You know, people work real jobs, we live real lives, and people do real things, and they still care and they help. I just love this place, and I'll never get over it, and I'm always gonna be here. This is, once I retired and did that stuff, I'm like, I'm going home. I'm going home. I've been resting for a while, but time is coming and I'll be back up. Later, I was drafted to the Super Bowl team and eventually became a starting safety for the Washington Redskins. The path was steeper than I imagined, but it taught me everything about pushing forward and purpose. Just keep going, man. Like, life is tough. And being an adult, to those kids who were up here earlier today, you guys keep going, and that's the first step to your life. Just keep going and keep pressing. Things will get hard. Guarantee it, anticipate it, be ready for it because it's coming. But as long as you're ready for it and you know it and you have an idea, you know you can overcome it, and with God, you have a chance. So you guys keep going, and I know your parents are proud of you. I'm proud of you, and everybody in this room is proud of you guys for your accomplishments if you're still in here. I'd like to extend a thank you to Coach V, Mr. Velasquez. I don't know if it's Danny or there's so many of those guys. I don't know if it's Danny or which one of them it is, but he coached that Handy, and he was a great coach. He was my first, I'd say, real coach in the sense of pushing you and holding you accountable to getting things done. I still was late though. I'm not gonna lie, I still was late. To my friend Luther, he couldn't make it today. I do have to send a special shout out to him because he always got up and he was the man. And it's always good to find somebody better than you. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's always good to have that person better than you that you can look up to and strive to even just take on some of the characteristics of that individual, and he did that. To Coach Frazier. To Coach Frazier and his staff, and not only Coach Frazier and his staff, but that staff at Bay City Central at that time was amazing. I'm talking about from the teachers to the counselors to everybody. Mr. Merkel, who literally, rest in peace, but that man made my dream possible because he sat me down and he told me what I needed to do to get where I needed to go, and he had already been down that route. So truly, that's a thanks to him. And Coach Frazier, man, what you've done in my life is amazing. Being by my side, taking that time as a coach to spend time with me and mentor me and to continue to press with me and seeing, you know, that I was a broken young man. I had things going on in life, and to do what you did is truly a blessing. And those 3 tables over there are full of angels that have done that for me. So truly, Coach Frazier, I truly appreciate you and thank you. I'd like to thank my mom for teaching me. I'm sorry for going over. I didn't think I would. I'm sorry. To my mom, I'd like to thank you for teaching me perseverance and faith, and keep moving forward no matter how many times I fall, no matter what it is, for instilling in me, Trenton, you are the greatest, even when I was the lowest. And still today, as a grown man, when I get low and I'm not in where I want to be, you still tell me, Trenton, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. You can be the man that you want to be. You may not today. You may fall short at times, but continue to keep pressing. I thank you and I love you. To my sisters, thank you for always showing up. There's never a time that I'm asking a question of, are they gonna be there? Am I gonna be by myself? I'm always got my riders, I always got my partner with me, and I truly thank you as well. To the Cochrans, I truly thank you as well for taking in a 16-year-old boy who was going through things, who times were not good at home, and you guys took me in and you treated me like a son. You treated me like family. You're here today. You showed up, the whole family. I got golly. But truly, thank you. This isn't possible without you guys. The creating stability in my life for one of the first times it's God. It's all God, and I thank you guys, and I truly love you for everything you've done for me. To my friends and to my brothers, my brothers are my brothers, and blood, it doesn't matter. If you're with me and we shake hands and we get talking and we get doing what we've been doing, we've been riding together for 20 years. I truly thank you guys. I thank that table. To the ones who couldn't make it here, I truly thank you guys for always having my back no matter what it is. And to my lady, Maya, thank you for making the weekend possible. I had a great night last night. I was up till about 6 last night. I got a little, I don't know if anybody else did, but I got a little turned up, and we had a night. We had a night. And so thank you for allowing that and making it possible, because I would have never sent out flyers or did any of the stuff where you're connecting with Miss Thunberg to make sure the tickets is good. I never would have did any of that. That's just not in my spirit. It's not in me. So thank you so much, and I love you. Now as a father, in closing, I carry these lessons with me. I carry community with me. I carry my family with me. I carry the people that I meet with me. I just want to be a good man. I carry these lessons and I pass them down to my son, who's 2 years old. I'm kind of sad he's not here, but he's at home, and he's, they missed that bedtime at 2 years old. It's going to be a problem. So he's with his grandparents, and I really wish he could be here, but I'm trying to be a good man and be a good father to him, and that's what I'm doing with my life, and hopefully get back into coaching. But my hope is to still someday inspire and continue to inspire the young athletes that are chasing their dreams with faith, discipline, and heart. Thank you for everybody who's here, who showed up for their people, because it doesn't matter about what we accomplished. It was not possible without community and our people. So I want to say thank you to everyone who showed up, for everybody in here, and just loved them and supported them, and like you said, throwing those balls at your dad's sins. So let's just keep it going and continue to show up, support. Let the people let the people you love know you love them, whether they're here or not, and continue to keep pressing. Thank you so much, and I'm honored.
Good job, Trenton. You guys ready over there? Are you ready? Our last, but certainly not least, inductee and final team for this evening is the 1999 National Championship Softball, the Delta College Pioneers. Hey Trenton, were the Pioneers with you last night? It sounds like it. Although the Pioneers may have not been the most talented team, they knew they had something special, each other. And coaching staff also realized they had a great group of young ladies. Head coach Mike Wiltsey and his staff pushed this team, which had many local players from the area, and together they flourished. They were a bunch that were driven to 6 a.m. practices and commit to them, and they came in and bought into that early, During the regular season that year, they were 26-14, winning the Michigan Community College Athletic Association title and a berth in the NJCAA Regional. The Pioneers swept Haskell Indian Nation to make it to the World Series in Annapolis, Maryland. At the national tournament, Delta defeated Corning Community College in New York, Brookdale Community College of New York, and Orange County in New Jersey. Being a win away from the title, Joliet beat the Pioneers by the score of 9-1. They were lucky enough to get another shot at Joliet, and winner takes all. In the national championship, this close bunch of Pioneers walked off the field as national champs, beating Joliet 3-0. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Coach Mike Wiltsey and his 1999 national champions in softball, the Delta College Lady Pioneers, to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations. That is a long bunch you got there.
Oh, yeah. Isn't this amazing? 26 years later, We have every one of our players represented here today and their families. And man, are they excited. So, Tom, you hit something up to me, Tom Herrick. You know, how in the world did you ever get into this coaching thing? And I'm sitting over there thinking, how did I do that? And then I got Denise here, and Denise, my very first coaching softball team was Denise's summer team, 1989 to Morley Travel. How far I go back with that. And we made it to the ASA National Tournament down in Waco, Texas. And wow, are we old. I would like to thank the committee for recognizing my team. What an honor. And this all, oh boy, Tammy, yeah. My first person I want to introduce here is our athletic director, Angie Redlinski. This doesn't happen without Beth Dukeland. Beth, I got to throw out something to you. Beth and I were partners at the Bay City Police Department in 1996. Both had a love for women's softball, and the vacancy opens up at Delta College. And Delta College softball was not good at all. Trenton, they had won 5 games over the past 3 years. They were bad. And so I go to Beth and say, Beth, what do you think? Let's try this. Let's do it together. I'm not doing it by myself. And she said, yeah, let's wheel with it. And Angie, I don't know if you remember, Beth and I came in and we interviewed in front of you and the great Lynn Conway, and part of the question is, why do you want to do this? And I said, Angie, Lynn, there is so much athletic talent in Bay County, softball talent. Our Essexville Little League, our programs, Brad Walraven did such a great job at All Saints. Angie, I think we can win a national championship with these teams. And Angie and Lynn looked at me and laughed. And Beth, we went to work. In the fall of '96, recruiting to Delta College was not easy then. But we, with All Saints kids, and I got a couple of Bullock Creek kids where I was coaching previously, and we put a team together and we were okay at best. We did win more than 5 games that year, but we were okay at best. And then all of a sudden we get some momentum going and it helps recruiting. And then that second year, we make it to the national championship. We went to Lawrence, Kansas, play at the University of Kansas field, and beat a Haskell Indian Nations team. And 6 of those players that were part of that, where we finished 7th in the country, made a little bit of noise, came back that next year. And 6 of them are up here. So, a little bit about me at this time. As we start to prepare for the 98-99 season, Beth says it's time for her to start a family, and she was stepping aside. And so I had to go out and look for some different coaches. And at the same time, I was placed on an undercover team. I was undercover with the FBI and our gang task force and had a very unique schedule in which was not a traditional schedule, which made coaching really hard. So a lot of our team, I don't think any of them really knew, and I definitely don't think the gang members of Bay and Saginaw County knew, that we did search warrants around the Delta College softball practice and game schedule. If they had only figured that out, the gangs could have got away with a little bit more activity. So, as Mike said, we had 6 a.m. practices. And 6 a.m. practices really meant 5:45. That came from the police officer side of us, because at 6 a.m., that was go time. And so you think about our 13 players coming to Delta College, and again, nobody lived on campus, and they were driving in our Michigan weathers to get to our practice. And if they were late, that meant the whole team suffered. We started to build together that team camaraderie from an early stage. Now I'd like to introduce our freshman players that year. First freshman player, number 4, Jill Ross from Sandusky High School. She was the MVP of her team. She was first team All-County, and she was one of our utility players. Number 8, you've heard this before, All Saints product, Lisa Ernst. Yeah. Nick Ford. No.
Brad, you did such a great job with Lisa and Trisha and helping Beth. There's so much of what we did here that come from the All Saints program and specifically what Brad implemented. But she was our shortstop. Man, was she quick, and she had a strong arm. And you'll hear here shortly, she had a little pop in her bat that helped us win this title.
Amen.
All right, the third one, number 11, from Kingston High School, Tammy Williams. Tammy was an all-state outfielder. She was strong, and she had a solid arm. And as you can see, 26 years later, she was the life of the team then and is still the life of our people today. Number 15, coming from Hemlock High School, was all-state pitcher Sarah Smith. Fun story that I have to tell about Sarah is I didn't recruit Sarah. I was recruiting her catcher that never did come to Delta that year. Amber came the year after. And Sarah came to Delta. And of course, one of my great recruiting spiels was you could come to Delta College even without a scholarship because it's a cheap, great education that will prepare you for anywhere that you want to go after that. And I think Sarah was probably the second week of school in the fall semester. And Lisa, my pitching coach, and I were stalking outside of her classroom door. And I knew her number was 15, and she walked outside into the hallway, and I'm like, Sarah, you ever think about maybe winning a national championship at Delta College? And she looked at me all puzzled, and it took a little bit of convincing, and obviously you see we got her, and she was our second ever All-American pitcher who also went on to play at the University of Loyola Chicago and had a great career after that. Our other pitcher, number 5, Julie Seebeck from Augrey Sims High School. She was an all-state thrower, pitcher, infielder, great hitter. And Julie, the things that I talk about you are strong determination and grit. I hate losing, and Julie hated losing worse than me, which was awesome. Our outfielder from Essexville Garber, April Vega. April was an all-state outfielder and catcher for Garber. She was a versatile hitter. She was our leadoff hitter. She was quick, and she was tiny, and people always looked at her like, oh, she's not going to hit it far, and then she'd bomb it over their heads and run. And she was out to prove a point when she came to us. And she did so many great things there. She went on to SVSU to play, had a great career, and is doing such great things as a professional and as a mom. Amen. Our last freshman that year is number 30, Mary Cintron from Bullock Creek High School. Mary, probably our best all-around athlete.
Just hit the ball.
Strong, cocky. And she came on later on the year in a huge role at the plate. Now our sophomores. Now these sophomores were critical to us because they came back from our 7th place finish the year before. And so I needed them to help talk our freshmen in. We can win now, and we want to be the best. Our first sophomore is number 17, Rosa Ramirez from Ithaca High School. She had batted in the 4 slot, led our team with RBIs the year before, and had a strong leadership role. Again, Rosa asked, she would do anything I asked of her, and did it with a smile. Our catcher, number 6, Trisha Campbell from Bay City All Saints. She was a returning member of the all-regional team. She was my captain. She never wore the C on her jersey, but she was our captain. If I needed something to happen, she would make it. She worked with our pitchers, who were both strong-minded people, to make them great and even better. She ran our game from behind the plate, and I can't say enough about her hard work, her dedication, and her leadership, and she still shows it today in her professional world. Number 14, Kelly Jolin from Nouvelle High School. She returned to us as part of our all-regional tournament team. Her speed and mobility in the infield, she was flexible between shortstop and third base. She was quiet and she was smart. She was just a student of the game and helped us win games that way. Number 7, Janelle Hemker from Swan Valley High School. The year before, she had received our Hustle Award, and she was an academic All-State. She was also a stud volleyball player at Delta, who went on to play at Tiffin. Sorry about that. Don't hate on Janelle just because she lives in Columbus, Ohio now. Janelle's a hard worker, positive, and motivated. Her smile is a killer. Love it. Number 10, Mary Sullivan from Newville High School. Mary was the ultimate team player. Versatile infielder, outfielder. She every day brought enthusiasm and encouragement to our team. Now our last player, number 13. She couldn't be here tonight. She passed away a year ago battling cancer. But here representing from the Carolinas, Rachel Furchaw from Newville High School. Representing her tonight is her husband Dave, her daughters Emma and Riley. Rachel was a versatile player. I put here that she was the glue that held our team together. She did whatever it took for our team to be successful. She always kept us smiling. So happy that her family is here representing her. Amen. My job as a coach was to set the bar high, inspire my athletes to reach this bar, encourage them, and most of all, guide them in the best possible manner. It was always student before athlete. I'm so proud of this national championship, but I have 13 women up here who not only won a national championship, but they got certificates, associate degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, and Tricia, I even have a doctoral person up here. All of them are professionals in their community to this day. And as a coach, I've heard it over and over again, that's why we're here. And to see 26 years later, what they're doing in their communities. They're great spouses, they're great parents. Some are, as Denise talked, are even coaching. That's what it's all about. When we recruited, we talked about 6 a.m. practices, and Sarah, we talked about 8 a.m. pitcher and catcher practice, which meant a lot of stair climbing, running, to make them better. We preached academics, we preached family, and one goal, to be the best, Vince Lombardi, who I love reading about, he talks about what it takes to be number one. Team, I don't know if you know, but I used to read this. This hangs in my office, in my wall, and I look at it every day. Winning is an all-the-time thing. We don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit, so is losing. Sports is like running a business. The object is to win, beat the other team. We're here to win and to compete. We appreciate the grind and the discipline. Our finest hour is that moment when you work your heart out in a good cause and lie exhausted on the field, victorious. I'll never forget that moment in Anne Arundel, Maryland, when we won and we clinched, and the whole team, as you know, ran out on the field. And I laid there and I was flat out exhausted for what we had gone through, that we had created a goal and accomplished the goal. The season started going to Myrtle Beach. We drove to Myrtle Beach with a U-Haul trailer, and that's where it all began. And we started off the season on fire. We couldn't be beat. All of a sudden, mid-season, we couldn't win 2 games in a row. Lisa and Shelley and I, what would it take to win back-to-back games? And so we switched pitching around. You're going to pitch first game. You're going to pitch second game. We switched the lineup around. We couldn't figure it out. And quietly we were asking, did we have what it takes to win? We had to win our last game to win our very first ever conference title, which we did 2 years in a row, and that's the last time Delta College has won a softball conference title was in '99 and 2000. We won that game to win the conference title. We had a week and a half off before our postseason started, and we got together and said, what are we going to do to get the team where it needs to be? And so we refocused on our goals. The team came together like the family that they are. We started off our regional tournament. We beat Owens out of Toledo, smoked them 6-0. Julie had 2 hits, just coming back from an injury. Now our arch nemesis was Macomb Community College. In 4 games that year, we went 1-3 against them, and we knew that they were going to be the team to beat. Well, it didn't start off real good that game. The 7th inning, bottom of the 7th inning, we're down 1-4. What are we going to do? We came together as a team. April Vega, you hit that 2-run double. All of a sudden, it's 4-3. And she's on second base, bottom of the 7th. Who's up? Lisa Ernst from Bay City All Saints. What does Lisa do? She hits her very first collegiate home run to go a walk-off. So we beat Macomb. Then there was no stopping us then. We then play Macomb in the championship and we smoke them 8-1. We're on to the next round. The next round, Haskell Indian Nations, which was a community college designed for Native Americans out of Lawrence, Kansas. They come to town and we just smoke them. They were ranked 11th in the country. We're not ranked at the time. Nobody's even given us any respect at all. And they come to town. We beat them the first 2 games, and we're ready to go to the national tournament. We go to the national tournament. We're unranked. Nobody's thinking about us doing anything. The first game we played Corning, which was ranked 10th in the country. We beat them 2-1 on 3 back-to-back doubles by Cintron, Campbell, and Seebeck. Next was the team that I knew that we were going to have to beat, Brookdale out of New Jersey. They were ranked 2nd in the country. They had finished 2nd the year before. They had a great coach and a returning All-American pitcher. So, and then even crazier, we give up 1 run in the bottom of the 1st, so we're down 0-1. In the bottom of the 1st, what happens? Mary Citron hits a 2-run home run. We're up 2-1, and that's the final score, 2-1. We beat Brookdale. We break the ice. The next is Orange County. They're ranked 3rd in the country, and we were down early 1-2. Ross, Campbell, and Jolin all had hits to take an early 3-2 lead. And then what happens next? Mary Cintron hits another 3-run home run, the 6th, and we put them away. Now we're in the championship game against Joliet. They also had a returning All-American pitcher who led the country in strikeouts that year. I knew we were going to have a battle. And we came out and we lost that game 1-9. We got smoked. We struck out 12 times. Rosa was we had a home run. Rosa hit a home run to give us our one lonely run. So we came together and we're like, what are we going to do? The team's down. We can't hit the ball. We bring together the team, much like we did 3 weeks prior. We talk about what our goals were. We talk about who we are. We didn't come here to take second to anybody. We come here to win. What do we do then? Sarah Smith pitches the game of her life. She has a 2-hit shutout, strikes out 7. Mary Cintron has another 2-run home run in the 2nd. And then Lisa Ernst finishes it up in the 6th with a solo home run for us to shut them out in the championship game 3-0. And I know my time is running short, but I have to share what Trisha's. I think I got 4 minutes left. I can't see. Trisha Campbell, my unofficial captain, wrote this to me just yesterday. And Trisha, I'm going to modify it a little bit. She writes, on behalf of this team, now don't get us wrong. The rings, the trophies, the newspaper articles, and the recognition are all really nice. But at the end of it all, what was left within each of us that we have been able to take out into the world and our families was much more important. Together we learned how to work really hard for what we want. And we wanted to prove people wrong and show them we could win. We learned how to be people that others could count on. We were there for each other on and off the field in 1999, and we would still show up for each other today. We learned that time management and discipline. Do you think any of us wanted to wake up at 4:30 a.m. to come to practice? No, but we were disciplined and we did it. We learned how to be resilient and not give up, as we did when Macomb had us 4-1 in the 7th. Thank you, Lisa, for that home run. We learned that when things get hard, you stick together. Put on a brave face and act like you belong there. Just as we did when we came back to beat Joliet that day to win our national title. The women that I'm honored to call teammates have gone on to do incredible things. We are leaders in our jobs and our communities. We run businesses and schools. We lead families. We have careers where we serve others. But of course, we are athletes. This is why sports are important, and this is why being part of a team matters so much deeply to all of us. I'm incredibly proud to be here tonight to achieve this honor, to be in front of my team. What we accomplished then and what we still continue to accomplish is awesome. My team serves as a role model to me. Lance and Grant, my 2 boys, serve as a role model to them of what they can accomplish in their life as well too. Angie, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your leadership. Still today, you're my role model. I want to thank our parents. Man, can you see, they showed up back in 1999, they show up today. Don Smith, I can't thank you enough. Don, Sarah's dad, led our fundraising efforts so we can do some great things. Don, thank you for your support. I want to thank my mom. Mom and Granny, they came out. My mom and Granny came out and saw us win that day, which was really cool. When we would win, I would take the team out, and some of you might remember in 1999, Kenny Rogers had a song called I Am the Greatest. And without playing it, he talks about how he'd throw up a ball and he would swing and a miss. And he's like, I'm the greatest. And that's strike 1. And then he'd throw the ball up again and whiff it, and he's like, I'm still the damn greatest. That's strike 2. He'd throw it up again, whiff, I'm still the greatest. That's strike 3.
Never give up.
You never give up. He went in and told his mom that night at the dinner table and said, even I didn't know that I could pitch like that, Mom. I'm the greatest there's ever been. And I'm here one last time. Team, we stood the course. And now officially, you are one of the greatest teams in Bay County history. Congratulations. Thank you for the honor.
Mike, don't forget your glasses. Ladies, don't forget your glasses over here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, one last time, let's give all of our inductees, our teams, and our President Award a standing ovation.
Group picture. Yeah.
Thank you, and we'll see you next year for number 35.